We're talking about the Michigan football scandal. And Shaw, can we put Connor Stallions getting himself all the way on the Central Michigan sideline so he can steal signs back on the screen? Because this is what I want to know about this. What was his story? Right? Like when somebody came and tapped him on the shoulder and asked him why he was there, what was his story? Because Spencer, as you know, I'm sure I've told you about the time that I got caught sneaking in the Super Bowl and somebody asked me who I was and I gave him the fake name and then he told me I wasn't the fake name and I just didn't have a story after that, right? Like I love stories about people sneaking into stuff. That reminds me, we probably need to get people to get that on the voicemail line this week. Y'all don't know the new number, 323-596-7767. You can hit us with your stories about sneaking into places. I love sneaking into places. I once snuck in the back door of a lingerie fashion show because me and my man James saw the Bishop Don Magic Wand pull up in the green Cadillac and follow where he was going and then wound up getting in. Yeah. True story. The year 2002. But I love a good sneak in story. I want to know, what do you plan to tell those people when the long arm of the law reached out and put his hand on his shoulder?
You double down. Whatever it is, you double down. You go, yeah, call Craig. Who's Craig? Craig, he's up in the booth. Do you have the extension? No. I'm from Central Michigan. I don't know Michigan State's business. You call him. Craig's up in the booth, all right? I'm doing my job here, okay? So you call Craig. You got a problem. That's it.
It's a little different, too.
Like if you're caught.
Because I guess being white, you got a different toolkit and righteous indignation. Like you got a chance of just making it work with, what are you doing here? Can't even believe you asked me that. You know, yeah, right. Yeah. You call your boss and you tell him what you just did. I'm going to be over here. And then you just walk away. And that shit actually works in a way that it don't really work for my people. I had not really thought about that. I told you about the time my brother got caught sneaking in the Prince concert.
No.
Yeah, it's the mid-'90s. I think it's the Emancipation Tour. And him and his buddy went to the concert. The concert was sold out, but the whole plan was basically just to look and see whatever they were using for all access badges, to then go back and then use nascent internet to Google that and create your own pass. And he did, and he got in the place, and then he parlayed it to another level, and then he parlayed it down to the floor, and then he tried to parlay it backstage, and that's when it ran out. And when they started asking him questions, the best thing he says about the story was he needed to flip the perception and make himself the victim. And so now he was the victim of a scam because he had purchased a ticket that apparently was not legitimate, even though he had been told it was. And so rather than them trying to take him to jail for trespassing, he's trying to put in a report for fraud.
This is turn your weakness into a strength. Yeah.
That's right.
By the way, that is true. That is true. You do have a certain amount of license as a Caucasian, though I will tell you, in a predominantly African-American space, say here in Atlanta, when you are been found guilty of infiltrating a space without said permission, ticket, or allowance, it doesn't always go that way, Bo. A lot of time, it's always, don't even try that shit. Don't even try that shit. Keep walking.
Just be cool, man. Just be cool. Yeah, you're right. The one white man in the room getting righteously indignant is not going to work because now this becomes a community matter.
No, let me tell you, you put your finger up, test that wind. It's blowing, and it's blowing the opposite way. You need to pick that up real quick or your night's going to get real bad.
I love this, though, because a lot of the talk on this now is about whether Harbaugh is going to get this extension. Yes, we are so far removed from Jim Tressel getting fired over some tattoos, but in reality, Jim Tressel got fired because Urban Meyer was over there just, killing time, looking for something to do.
Well, there's a difference there, too. Ohio State knows institutionally, we don't need you. We don't. We're a little bit like Alabama in that we got 10 wins here if you want them. And they might be the wrong 2 losses, but we got 10 wins. You're not the Magic. We're not Clemson. We don't need you threatening, y'all ain't never won anything here. No, we won a lot, and we're going to keep winning. We shed Urban Meyer, like bad skin. Just whoop, done.
Really did.
They did, like a snake shedding its skin. They were like, on to the next one. Picked up Ryan Day. Guess what? He's awesome. He's like 50-5 or something since he came there.
And we don't know if he's good.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the machine you're driving, it's a really good machine. It's really good at what it does. Michigan, buddy, we know that's not true. We have seen what that machine is like without a competent driver, and it goes straight into the wall. Okay, we've seen what it's like with a pretty good coach who didn't have things exactly lined up right. It wasn't good either.
Yeah, he was a bad fit. He was a bad fit. Rich Rodriguez, we all had incredible things to say about him. Bad fit. Bad fit.
Bad fit, did not work, failed, and went straight into another kind of mid-failure. That's not... Michigan is a job that requires a little bit of custom work. You need somebody with a custom fit. Harbaugh is as custom fit for that job as possible. Additionally, too, here, like if we're going to bring up like, okay, exit scenarios, because I wrote about this on the newsletter, Channel 6. You should pay me and subscribe to it because it's real good.
You should.
We'll give you 2 things a week for $10 a month. What a deal, what a buy. I wrote about this, that the Big Ten has to take this seriously. I don't care what the NCAA says about it. I really don't. It's an NCAA rule they broke. It's a dumb rule, but it's a rule, and you really can't budge it. And it's also, by the way, Michigan fans have gone, well, we ignore NCAA rules when it comes to compensation because they're unjust. Well, yeah, I agree. That has to do with money. It has to do with an entirely different kind of money if you're doing something which might marginally affect the outcome of games, the games of which are sold by the Big Ten, which represent a core element of the product that they sell to networks. So they have to be at least marginally concerned in the way that the NFL is concerned about somebody placing a $20 bet on their phone in the locker room, because it affects the core product. And if I know one thing about the Big Ten, it's that they like to pretend they're a giant corporation, which they kind of are and kind of aren't. And so in order to go ahead and be that pretend corporation with real money, they have to take this very seriously. That's the thing. Yeah. And when they do that, let's just say we arrange a graceful exit for Harbaugh, who has, by the way, been chomping at the bit, like interviewed for the Vikings job last year or last season, has always sort of openly touted his NFL ambitions, which I think are entirely related to the fact that his brother has one and he doesn't, has a ring, right? I want you to know that on Thanksgiving, the Harbaughs
beat him to get it.
And beat him to get it. And when money is no longer the issue, all you have are feelings. And I guarantee you that man wakes up every morning and he's like, God damn, he's got one. He's got one, and I don't. Yes. Like, he could win a national title, and it would still bug him, right? So if Michigan goes out big, and we say, okay, and a graceful exit to the NFL, who's he going to coach? Who's he going to coach? Because the deal on this guy is very well known. He's abrasive. He's going to cause problems. He's not going to be the easiest man to work with. He's a great football coach. I don't think anybody denies that. But where's he going to go in the NFL that's going to welcome him with instant open arms? It's not an obvious pick.
So I think there is one. Now, the thing with him, and you just hit it there, is no matter what, they're tired of Jim Harbaugh, and Jim Harbaugh is tired of them. Doesn't matter how long he's been there. Doesn't matter exactly, no matter what they are tired of him. He is tired of them. And I'm just telling you right now, the Panthers mess around and go 1-16, 2-15, or whatever it is. That's the place. And one thing he will do, and we know this, he'll turn this thing around fast. You will have an identity. He is good at this. And then we get the magical thought of him and David Tepper, 2 people that burn people out really fast, being in the same place. I mean, it might not last long, but you got a good chance of success in the short run if you decide to do this. But you are right. He is. I am enjoying the idea of people making a big deal out of this, not because I think it's that big of a deal. I understand it, but I don't really think of it as that big of a deal. I love it because somebody got to be a renegade out here. Now, this is low-level renegadery, right? Like, now that the NIL era exists, you're not really going to have the high-level renegade that you used to have. But this game is supposed to have renegades. It's supposed to have somebody probably over there cheating. That makes it more fun.
Yeah, because the frontiers for cheating are really sort of narrowing down. The only thing I can think of that people would openly embrace that might be of some level of controversy would be the ones who have a strength staff that are just like, yeah, we're on roids. We're on roids. It's a hard game. We're just trying to recover. That's all. This is just tactical recovery. That's all. The first team to do that, the first team that's like, it's under medical supervision. If they're like your friend who's on, testosterone replacement, right? Like, no, it's not roids. It's under the supervision of a doctor. Okay. Yeah, that's the next frontier.
Yeah, like we got the wrong Renegades. Like, what is their Renegade thing? Treat the players like shit. Like that's what it is. It's the Kirk Ferentz, Chris Doyle. Oh wow, we had no idea that our players felt as though they were being abused by their strength coach, right? Like, no, we didn't know that. No. We don't need that kind of renegade. I need somebody just out here breaking some rules and daring you to do anything about it. And Harbaugh makes it so good because Harbaugh never thinks he's lying. Maybe he is, but he never thinks he is.
When you go like, is Harbaugh cool? You go, I regret to inform you, no. There's very little that's cool about Jim Harbaugh. So him cheating and being kind of an outlaw, he doesn't even want that, right? He's been adamant this whole time. We do things the right way. We've cooperated with the NCAA in every single way. You shouldn't cooperate with the NCAA. You shouldn't. Just tell him no. Tell him go away. You don't even have to make a public statement about it. Just no sell. I don't care. Do what Jim Harbaugh sometimes does to reporters on campus visits. Just be like, I don't have time today, guys. Because I know he does that.
Yeah.